Lia Thomas competes for first trans national championship as anti-LGBTQ radical right explodes. Watch this.
Lia Thomas dives into the pool that she could be sealing her place in NCAA history. The standout swimmer from the University of Pennsylvania will compete to become the first Division I openly transgender athlete to be crowned a national champion. The UPenn swim team posted this picture of Lia and two teammates poolside. Here they are, all three of our NCAA superstars. Her stellar season has smashed records, but also courted a wave of controversy, with some fellow athletes and parents concerned that Thomas has an unfair physical advantage. Thomas spent 3 seasons competing on the UPenn men's swim team and spoke candidly in December about her struggle during that time.
My mental health was not very good. It was a lot of unease about basically just feeling trapped in my body.
She has now completed 34 months of hormone replacement therapy, surpassing the 12-month NCAA requirement to compete on the women's team.
I can continue to do the sport I love as my authentic self.
It's left her teammates split, some sending a letter of public support, writing in part that Thomas and all transgender college athletes deserve to be able to participate in safe and welcoming athletic environments. While others have spoken out in opposition, one anonymous teammate tells the Philadelphia Inquirer she's concerned about physical advantages that don't, she says, give the other women a fair shot.
It's very difficult to focus when there's a lot of hatred and vitriol around you.
Skylar Baylor was the first openly transgender D1 athlete on a men's team. He flew to Atlanta this week to show his support for Lia.
We have to put our heads underwater and swim. And Lia has done an incredible job of that, but she shouldn't have to put her blinders on. So many of us before Lia have tried to say, hey, we exist to hopefully make the world a little bit more ready, right, for the next trans athlete. And Lia is now becoming part of that visibility train as well, so that the next trans person can hopefully be a little more accepted.
Well, protesters have gathered this morning outside the McAuley Aquatic Center at the 2022 NCAA Division I Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. Thomas is, as we said, a transgender female who formerly competed as a 3-year member of the University of Pennsylvania's men's squad. After transitioning and undergoing hormone-suppressant therapy, she joined the women's squad at the Philadelphia school, having met antiquated NCAA guidelines that only required 1 year of testosterone suppression. Thomas will compete in 3 events this weekend at the NCAA Championships.
You know, it's just ridiculous. She doesn't have the testosterone in her body anymore. I think what gives her an advantage, which any person who is taller in swimming has an advantage. So are you going to say that women who are over, 5 foot whatever can't compete? That's ridiculous.
And I think one of the big points that a lot of people have to NCAA's policies on it is they don't actually measure testosterone levels as long as you're on the suppressant therapy. Whereas the Olympics, they measure the testosterone levels. So that gives a lot of opponents to transgender athletes fodder to work with. And the problem is sports are a zero sum. Like there's a winner, there's a loser. So any kind of perceived edge is going to be critiqued and torn apart, even if it's not something that's actually there. It's a tough situation.
I think it's important to remark, though, on how she is really being a trailblazer here for the community, and that's got to have come with a lot of pressure, and a lot of things that she's probably thinking through, and may need a little extra support for.
Michael, I'm curious, how does Lia Thomas wash over you?
This is a difficult topic. It really is. I don't look at it as just a sports issue. I look at the overall vitriol in the country right now directed at transgender people. And I know that this is used as fodder for more vitriol. It is a single person excelling in a way that is giving people an opportunity to use it as a serious critique against everybody, including targeting children, younger kids in high school sports. And that's a really difficult thing. But at the end of the day, I feel the same way, and it's always interesting to me that this outrage only goes one way. They don't react the same way to transgender men participating.
Exactly.
So, and to your point, I think of the Williams sisters in tennis.
Exactly.
Their physical advantages are what allowed them to dominate for so long. So really what we're talking about here is not limiting trans people. We're talking about getting to a point where we limit bodies in general.
Right.
And you say, well, there can't be anything over this height or strength or things like that.
It's interesting to me because this is anti-science. And I know that is a broad label of, I wish people embrace science more, but we see in every category of America, they don't. But
Last
this is
3 years taught us that.
Right, exactly. But it's anti-science. And the greatest criticism is not agreed with by the science community. The NCAA has been very clear that this is not an issue that affects the outcome of the sport. And as a result, that's why Leah Thomas can compete. More important than them or the International Olympic Committee, which came to the exact same conclusion using science, most important of all is the American Medical Association, the doctors' organization that is the best evaluation of the science on this subject, says what they are saying is not true. Flatly. The AMA has flatly said what you're saying is not true. Of course, that is science, and it is easily rejected by, unfortunately, a lot of ignorance. But we wish her luck this weekend.
Absolutely.
Going to make history.
Good luck.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus